Hi, Internet. Kim here.
Chris here, and this is Rambling Tea Time.
Hi, Internet. How's it going?
I think this going pretty well for the internet. It's going well for me.
Um, it's going for me, and yeah. See, I was trying to find something that isn't fine,
To
and this
say,
is what I came up with.
okay.
Um, Hi, I'm Kim. I say that I'm okay, but I'm not okay, but I can't get into it. Um, yeah. Okay.
Okay, you can't get into it, but I'm good. How are you? You good? You good?
Really? I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
did my whole
I mean, but
spiel.
like I know you did the whole bit, but you good? You good?
Things are.
Ah, things be.
Yeah.
Hmm.
In any case, this week, was it this week? This
Yes,
past week,
I think.
we watched a TV show, a Netflix TV show,
Pretty
where
innocent
our
show too.
main character can't really say how she's doing either. Okay? It is a Korean Netflix show called My Name that just came out this past month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
Christopher is the one
Yes.
who introduced it.
I've been told very good things about the show
Hmm.
from numerous sources. So I decided, you know what? It's new. Let's dive into it, see what it's all about. And I knew it had a crime type of feel, and I know you like stuff like that. So I thought it'd be like, okay, it's a perfect fit for us. Did you like the show?
Mm.
I can see that look already. We, you,
We.
I like the show, but towards the end is kind of where it kind of peters out in interest. I get why that thing that happened at the end. We'll get to it, but like it was
Let
kind of. If you felt like it reached a peak and then it just slowed down and then it jumped, but then it just like flatlined towards the end. You know that type of
I
situation.
think that there was a major unnecessary thing that happened in the end. First of all, I'll tell you what my score is. I
Oh
give
boy.
it a 7.
Yes, this is a
Is
this is
that
a good show.
okay?
This is a perfectly good show.
All right.
Netflix seems to be doing a good job with their foreign, I guess, for those Western like stuff, especially their Asian stuff seems to be fairly most of the time good,
I guess so.
right? Is more bangers than shit in my opinion. Right? So I like the show.
What
It
is the show
The
about? Tell the
show is
people.
about a girl called Young Ji Woo.
Jiu.
Ji yes. Her dad was a gang member and he was murdered. And she's trying to find who killed him. So she's going to join up with the gang member who was worked with her dad. And they were apparently very close. So she essentially becomes a part of the gang
Yes.
and she goes to what they call the cage, whatever. But it's like a
It's
training place for
right.
gang members,
Right.
pretty much training how to fight and whatnot. And there she trains. She gets assaulted by the soon to be kind of semi antagonist down the road. He tries to rape her by drugging her. She's saved. The guy kind of knew that something like this was going to happen, so she needed to have that experience.
That's what he said.
Yes,
Anyway.
Choi doesn't it? Choi Mujin. He's a
Yes.
piece of that's kind of a dirt thing to do, but his whole thing is about you need to get tough. You need to become somebody who's willing to murder. To have her trained to become more of a tool to be used by the organization. They call it the organization. They'll call it the gang. The Dong Hoon, right? No, not Dong
Dong
Hoon. Dong
Chun.
Chung, right? So she's training in the fight pit cage place that they have for the people, and then there's a fighting competition. Whoever wins the competition gets like a vacation or money or something like that. She beats this guy called Do Jange. And
It's
am I saying it right?
no,
What is it then?
it's Ganje.
Ganje. I'm sorry. I'm going to get most of these wrong, anyways. Okay.
Didn't you say this already that he tried to assault
Yes, but
her?
I'm just setting it up that how yes he why he tried to assault her because he lost the fight. You know, he lost the fight, so he decided that he'll try to rape her, and he gets kicked out of the gang for that. Not killed or anything. He gets cut in his face by Chomojin, but he isn't kicked out. He's in kicked out of the gang. But he shows up later down the road. Just putting a note in that. So for the next 4 years, she spends her time training under the organization and also becoming a cop under
Mm-hmm.
a different name, Oh Hyujin.
Hey, Jean.
Heijin. So that's where the whole undercover, am I working for the gang? Plus, I'm trying to find out who killed my dad. Because the whole thing that has her on this plot point that, oh, my dad was killed by a cop.
Right.
Because the weapon they found belonged to a cop that shot her dad. And Chae is
Well,
like,
the weapon that Chimujin gave
gave her
her,
belongs to a cop.
exactly.
So she's trying to find out all the case files and information about, and the guy who was around at that time, the head of narcotics, who was looking into that case at that time. What's his name?
Chagiho. So, I think that the show should actually have not been called My Name.
It was
I
supposed to be
don't
called
know.
Undercover.
Right. There's the other name, there's Undercover, and there was Nemesis I saw. I think
Nemesis.
that either of those could have worked because the poster and the tagline that they used for My Name was, um, what was it? My revenge and my story. No one can ever know my name. It was just like, it doesn't work.
Mm,
And even in the show, it was only I feel like it was only one time where the whole "what's your real name" meant anything
yeah.
when the other guy cop, the Sunbay, whose name I can't remember, but he like confronted her after he found out that he found out the whole thing, and he's
Yes.
like, "Your name is Sung Jihu, right?" He
Yes.
says that
Yes.
to her. I think that's the only time that her like name meant anything.
I think the whole point, the whole my name thing is that because she's under a different alias, and her father himself was also under a different alias that she knew
I
as well.
know.
So it's all about whose name was whatever, blah blah. You know that type of thing. It's like I also had to go undercover, choose a different name to find out the truth. And the truth is, my father also had a different name because he was also undercover.
I
That's
get
the whole like
it, but what I'm saying is it didn't work for me.
I understand what they were going for with the name, and I get why they didn't name it Undercover. Nemesis seems kind of weird too, because that wouldn't work. I understand the naming,
There
right?
should have been a different name. That's what I think.
I think a name is fine. My name, yeah, I think it works.
Does it?
It works enough.
Anyhow, I generally was okay with the show. I think that Gangjae as
Ugh.
a mini boss, let's call him, or someone, he he was so lackluster and weak.
I
And
mean,
his character,
he's supposed to be like the new blood gang member type of thing because he's essentially a rival to Chamberlain's more classic mafia
yes, I know. We see
stylings.
this all the
You see this
time.
all the time, yes, but they kind of made the actor overact in a bit for some. He's supposed to be the wild, crazy guy, and it just
It
it
felt,
felt kind of flat.
it did.
It did fall flat. This is it. I understand what they're going for, but it felt kind of flat for me. It just I was laughing. I was laughing more, and I
Exactly.
guess maybe you're supposed to be laughing. You can't take him seriously, but he is a dangerous criminal, murdering people and stuff in those fights and whatnot. So you're like, he's crazy villain. I don't know. He felt like a cartoon. Like he felt out of place
Yeah, he didn't
with
feel.
everything else that was
I
going
get
on.
that he was killing people in those moments, but at the same time, he didn't feel as threatening as I
Yes,
thought his character should be.
even though he did the most threatening shit throughout the entire
Exactly.
series, which is actually hilarious. He's you see him still kill people on screen. He throws them into a truck to have them to get crushed down to almost get them killed.
He
And
did.
he does all the most evil stuff so far we've seen playing out, but he's the least threatening person
Yeah, I
on
feel
screen.
his character, not the actions that his character did, but the behavior
Yes.
and personality.
Yeah. I You get what they're going for, but at the same time, it just I
It
feel
didn't
that it
work.
didn't work for me. I guess it's because also for me, I'm not a huge fan of the Joker type of criminal
Yeah.
in that they're kind of wild and crazy and they do whatever type of thing. He has his reasons for why he wanted to do what he wanted to do at the same time because he got kicked out of the gang and he was pretty much the up and coming type of like guy. So when he gets kicked out for this girl and all that stuff, and then he finds out that she's a cop and all that, he has his. I thought that he would just kill her immediately, not that whole gimmick where he's going to throw them in a van and have the
Yeah.
van slowly crush them. It's like, just kill them, just kill her, just instantly do it, just get over and done with.
Speaking of the van being nearly crushed, well, it was crushed. They weren't killed, but nearly. The show tried to create a bond
Ah,
between her and her Sunday, whose name again I can't remember it.
Joan Pildo.
Pildo,
Pildo.
right?
Yes, yes.
So there was that trauma that they went through together, that
Yes,
first one,
yes.
and
That's kind of
then
halfway through the show at the point. At this point,
was there
yeah,
another
they
thing
didn't
that
really.
they
No,
went
no,
through?
no, 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 no. But they kind of. I guess they were. It felt like the editing didn't show us the scenes where they felt closer together, or are supposed to show that these two are forming some sort of other relationship other than just being like good
All
co-workers.
right, when she killed the guy,
Right.
when
When
she
she
killed
kills,
Ganje and
yes,
he comes
covers
over
essentially for her.
and he's all like, you need to drink soju and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
kill
yeah, yeah, yeah.
someone or whatever.
And then she says like Ganje tried to rape me.
Right. She
Like
did her whole thing, which I thought was
it made sense because
she
that
used her past, like,
exactly. So he understood because he had already previously talked about how his sister was drugged and she
right.
died from the drug overdose.
Exactly.
And
It
so
wasn't an
he not overdose,
overdose.
but it killed her. The drug just straight up killed her.
Right.
So he understood wanting to get revenge. So he was like, "Oh, I get that's the person that you wanted to get."
However, even if they had started to get close because of those
We didn't
moments,
see,
I do not think
feel.
and I did not feel that their relationship would turn out the way that it did.
Well, towards the end of the show, she's on. Everybody knows that she is a
Right, she's
working
on
for
the run.
Chimujin, and she's run the run because she wants to kill him now. Because she finds out, lo and behold, he actually killed her father
Right,
and
because her
has
father was actually
undercover
undercover. He's a
cop.
cop originally. He
Yes.
went undercover for Dong Chun, formed the relationship, got close to Che Mujin,
Mm-hmm.
and Che Mujin found out that he was a cop and he
Killed
killed
him.
him. So,
And then he spent this entire like 4 or 5 years just lying to her, just to
right,
manipulate her to create pretty much a weapon that would lie to the police and give them information and whatnot.
basically.
And so she finds out, and everything explodes. Everybody finds out she's a traitor, and Pildo hunts her down kinda somehow, and then they go to a place on the beach
Right.
and
He
just
doesn't take
talk
her into custody.
or anything like that because he's trying to understand her or whatnot. He thinks he understands her and he gets why she did what she do and whatnot. But
He's all
then,
like, lean on me, and then they make out
yes,
and then they have sad
the most
sex.
pathetic sex scene I've seen
Exactly.
in a
That's
long
what it
time in a
was.
show.
Christopher and I both agreed.
Pathetic. It was so
It
sad.
wasn't like, it wasn't pity sex, but looking at it just made you feel nothing.
Nobody was into that.
She wasn't into it. I feel like he might have been into it a little more than she was, but
I
there's no way that
I wasn't into it.
their relationship didn't.
It didn't need to have this.
Right.
It felt like it happened for the sake of boy
For
plus
him
girl.
having to, no, it happened so that she would have something else to be able to lose.
Yes.
And then when she loses that, then she would
Yes.
just go off.
Guess what happens to him, everyone? Right after they're coming back to the police station,
Right.
he gets shot in the head.
Yes.
So, oh no, we've killed all the tension so far. They're together.
No.
They're holding hands.
Did they hold
yes,
hands?
they did. They were holding hands and also and they're together. And he's bringing her into the police station. He's like, "I'll wait for you, even though you're going to go to jail." And somebody roll up on a motorcycle, just blang. I'm just like,
Mujin,
it was him.
wasn't it?
I thought it wasn't him.
It doesn't matter, who cares. The guy
Yeah,
got
it
killed.
doesn't. And it's like, oh, so that's why they wasted my time with the previous like 20 minutes before with all that. Well, that's a sad sex scene or
Let me
whatnot.
just talk about
Just
it.
so
There
that she
was
has
no
somebody to lose.
movement. What was with that? And her face looked so like nonchalant, like almost dead, and she was moving so slowly. It was so
I think they were trying to go for sensual, but they just got
what?
sad.
Sensual? Are you kidding me?
It was. I remember we were watching it, and it was just like, really, they're doing this now at this point in the show. And I remember you kept saying like how he has to die.
He does.
He has to die. From the moment he showed up in the show,
let me say something.
He has to die.
Listen. If it wasn't solidified in anyone's mind, for me, this is what I understood that they were trying to do. They were trying to form a bond between her and him as Sunbae and Junior, right? So that she could then lose him and lose it.
Yes.
But not that they would form an intimate relationship like that.
I didn't think it was going in
it
that
was
direction
more going to be
either.
like trust as colleagues and friends.
Yes. I thought that's how it felt to me. That's how the trajectory of the show seemed to be going in my opinion. It's like, okay, he isn't looking at her in a relationship way, and she's definitely not looking at him in a relationship way. So it felt more like coming to understand one another, becoming friends, becoming trusted colleagues, so that when the trust breaks, like have a scene where he's holding a gun pointed at you, you can't do this, you can't do this. But it kind of fell apart where he kind of had that, and
it did fall.
And then he's like, let's go to the beach. And then they had the sad sex scene.
Anyhow, in any case,
I don't know,
but it was
man.
super unnecessary.
It was super
If there
unnecessary.
was one thing I could cut from the show,
it would be that.
It would be that.
Because it only exists for one reason, and because all of a sudden it's dumped on you like right at the end in the last episode, then he dies like
there's no
15
adequate
seconds.
build up.
Yes. There isn't there's
enough,
not
the feeling.
There's not enough bonding between the two of them on that level.
On that level.
To merely make you go, oh my god, that really hurt me. Because the fact that from the early beginning, from the moment shows like he's probably gonna die.
Yeah.
But I expected him to die probably like in a more of a situation where Chin Jun has him like holding to his head or stuff like that, or he's there with her trying to get to her, but he gets like hit in the crossfire and then dies.
It would have been better,
and then she realizes that
Jin had like taken him hostage and killed him in front
like
of her, and then she went off.
Or like she realizes that her revenge has gotten to this point, as that this other person that has started to like trust and get to know me just since they died. I get what they were going for with the whole relationship. It's like, ugh, it just kind of ruins the ending for me. It doesn't help that the end, Chimujin is self-destructing as well
He is. I think that
because
everybody comes to a stage, right, where they, even for mafia bosses, I'm pretty sure everyone has their limits of how much they're willing to do, how far you're willing to go,
mm-hmm.
kind of things, right? He, this is what I felt. He was feeling guilty,
Mm.
for having deceived her all of these years. And he was kind of like killing himself
In a way,
in a way.
because I think that's the relationship that's the most important in the show. In that he at the beginning is to use, and he's tricked her from the very beginning. He's lied to her, right? But over the few years, he's begun to like care in a way
Right.
for her, and he's like, when Teju was always talking about you trust her. He's like, I trust her. She's done enough that I can trust her and protect. Because
which is which is a lie
yeah,
to himself. He's deceiving himself in that way
yes,
because you deceive someone else
exactly.
and you're a mafia boss. You're in this business. How can you ever trust anyone? Is what I want to say. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that was the better of the relationship to focus on towards the end. They didn't need to have the whole thing. They could have just focused on Chimujin self-destructing and her going on a rampage to get to him. But I guess
Right.
they needed one more. They needed one more to break the camel's back that was already broken. I guess
It didn't for us because we knew that he was going to get
it
killed.
just felt
We
like he
knew that
was.
he was going to get killed from the beginning. And then after they had sex, we definitely knew that he
Yes.
was going to get
The
killed.
moment I saw
Definitely.
the car, the all this, it was like the car part, not part, but they were
In
at a cross
traffic,
light,
yeah.
traffic lights, and right across the street is the police station, and they're having this long scene. They're talking. It's like he can get killed right now. I think in my head he can get killed right now, and lo and behold, it happens.
Yeah. I'll tell you, there's a scene that I didn't like.
Which scene?
Do you remember when it was Gangjae and Mujin? They were fighting against each other.
Out in the quarry type
Right,
area,
right. Where the cops had this whole like sting that they were gonna
because
do
Ganje was trying to
and round up.
give Chimujin to the cops
Right.
so as to avoid them hunting him since he was on the wanted list or something like that.
She could have killed Gangjae, but she didn't for some reason.
Wait, isn't this the fight where she killed him though? Oh, you mean killed him earlier
Before
before
she could
any?
have
Yeah, yeah,
killed
yeah,
him
yeah.
earlier.
But she like hesitated for some reason and had let him speak. Had his villain speak
Right.
spiel.
There
There's a lot of
I just
instances of that, like where people can just get things over and done with. But the
yeah.
reason what, like you said, they didn't because the plot demanded that they did it.
Exactly. It's
Like
so sad. I hate to see things like that.
where like he had both of them caught, he throws them in a van and let it slowly crush. Even though we've seen him straight up just kill nobodies
Right away.
right
Slit
away.
their throat right
And the
away.
person you hate the most is right there in front of you, and you're gonna waste time.
Exactly.
And
It's
and she herself like wastes time with him just holding the gun and not shooting. And then after that, they have the whole scene where she's freaking out about having killed someone for the first. Cause it's like her first kill and whatnot. And I guess it works, but the fact that it was only that one time, and then kind of immediately after, she kind of puts up a pretty huge body count, which I guess is to show that she's kind of descending into crazy killer mode. But at the
I
same time,
didn't think that they would have done the whole oh she's never killed someone
yeah,
before.
because she has all the nightmares and she's puking and all.
I
Really, this
thought that they would have said or written or whatever that she had been doing dirty jobs for
I thought that was the
Chimujin all
case.
along.
We
So she
thought
was
that
like
was the case.
harder into that kind of thing.
Yes, we thought that was the case. That was the whole 4-year time skip. We thought that was the case.
Exactly.
That between her like training to become a police officer, that she was working in the organization
Right, doing
and,
that kind of
and
stuff.
probably got trained how to do like and hardened up to be able, because that was what he tells her at the beginning. You need to become a person who isn't afraid to kill, right?
Yet she didn't kill anyone
Anybody
in that
until
time.
yeah,
I don't
it
understand.
was weird. I thought like if you're training somebody to be hard, like one of the things like street gangs used to do. I don't know about part of street gang or anything, but what they used to do is that they give you a gun, and then you will go on a drive
A
by.
drive, yeah.
Yeah, and what you would do is that you would spray that gun, and it's not about you like hitting or killing anybody. And if anybody gets killed, so what? The whole point of the thing is you need to be able to do this.
Right.
You need to be able to do this and not be like be afraid or scared or whatnot. So it felt kind of weird. Whereas like I thought she was not was trained up to like fight and
Right. I
just
want to
and
say I thought she was not, what is that word? No, I didn't think that she was fresh,
yeah.
is what that
Thought she was
word.
hard and ready to go in. That's what I thought too. So when she killed Gang J, and you had a whole scene where she's like, "Oh, this is her first kill," type of thing. I was like, "Oh, really?" Strange. I don't know why.
Super
I don't know
strange.
why the gang leader who's raising this gang girl to be a murderer type of thing didn't,
Yeah, it doesn't
get her.
it doesn't
It
connect.
doesn't feel like it connect at all. But other than that,
It
was
seems
there
like
any
we
other
have
scenes?
more issues than likes.
Poor Teju. He was loyal to the end.
Well,
He was loyal to a fault, though. And this is one of the things where I think if he had just told Chimujin that he had got a message from Cha Jiho um about
oh, and
Ganje
them meeting up.
meeting, right? He wouldn't have been suspected of being like traitorous or whatever, but that didn't
That's
really
not
peter
what
out
played into
super
getting him
much.
killed
It
anyways.
didn't. That was kind of weird, but at the same time, he just kind of he was there and he was loyal, and he kept being like, "There's a whole bunch of you're playing when you find out that Chimajin is tricking Song Ji Ho, you realize why Taeju is kind of like, you should probably stop trusting this girl. You're getting a bit too close, you know."
Right. He had developed this kind of like pseudo parent um
Yes,
position, I feel.
yes.
Almost like he became her new dad and was showing her the ropes of, you know.
That's what led to the whole destruction. The only person who got out of the organization was that lawyer lady at the end.
Ah,
And
yeah.
you kept talking about how you wanted the show to have it that she and
Uh,
Chimujin were like a
there
married
were
couple.
this is how
Your fan fiction.
this is my fanfic. So Che Mujin and lawyer lady, whose name I don't know if they ever said,
Miss
they
Kim, I think that was it.
would be husband and wife
Or
and
Kang.
running this whole Dongchen organization, you know, all these illegal things going on,
Uh huh.
right?
Uh huh.
And Jiwoo would be their daughter, and they'd be like grooming her to come up and like take over the
That's a
underworld.
completely different show
I
altogether.
know.
You just want that. You want that with these actors,
It doesn't have to be them. I'm sure there's even something just like that,
pretty
where
much.
two parents of the underworld groom their kids to be like the new leaders of the underworld, going through all kind of stuff. Anyway,
That reminds me of Gangs of London. Kinda.
does it?
Eh, kinda.
Well, kind of, but we didn't really get to see the like
No,
grooming
not really.
exactly of the dad. We know about it. We heard about it. We seen past clips about it. It's more everybody else.
Anywho,
Well, it's, anyway. I'm getting off.
yeah, get off
Okay.
track.
So overall, how do you rate it?
7 out of 10.
Oh, same as me.
Yes. Another thing that I didn't forget to bring up was the song track. They really liked
Uh,
using that one particular song. Those who watch the show know exactly what we're talking about.
it wasn't bad,
It's I guess it's the theme of the show,
but
but
it kind of kept creeping up all the time and
yeah,
come really annoying. If you binge
yes,
watched it like we did, it's like this song again
yes.
in some moments.
It's it's I get that it's the theme of the show, but my God, it's just other than that, the show was fun. I enjoyed it for
I
what it
have
was.
one more thing about it.
Shoot,
I think that at the ending, maybe they didn't need to show her going to the, what do you call it?
your funeral,
Not, it wasn't really a funeral,
the
but
family graves.
yeah, or to peel those family grave. They didn't really need to show that part. They could have just showed her, walking off bloody through the subway or the tunnel, wherever that was, you understand?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just end it there.
That would have been a bad end, but they needed to show you that girl boss lived. I
Is that
guess.
so?
Yeah,
Well, it was okay.
it was good.
For me, seven is okay.
Seven is also okay. I liked it. I think people should give it a watch. It's only 8 episodes. It's pretty short, and it's one of those things where it had a beginning, it had a middle, and it had an end. No cliffhanger bullshit. No like um things to like, hey, come back to season two. Maybe that'll also be a good type of situation.
No.
It's one story all the way through, and it did a good job. It was good. I enjoyed my time with it.
I wanted it to be better, but I accept it.
That's all you can do with life, Kimberly. Accept things.
Okay, let's not get real. Okay, that's all we have for tonight.
It is.
This is our review of My Name.
Go and give it a watch if you're interested. And have a good one, everyone.
Good night, everyone.